Hi Taurus. Alright, welcome to this place. If you're new here, it's called Opal Oracle. And if you're returning, welcome back. So, Taurus, we're going to look at what you've been building and that which cannot be taken away, which is always a plus. What you've been learning about, maybe something you can't see that's an opportunity, and then also some advice from Spirit. Just wanted you to be here while we shuffle a little bit and to tell you a little story. So that which I'm sitting upon right now, where I'm sitting, this wasn't here before. It was actually at the bottom of the hill, and now it's at the top of the hill. And I had help getting this to this place. I couldn't have done it alone. And I'm really grateful for that help. But in the process, before we could get to this position, for this to be here now, there was like a little bit of consideration, like, you know, well, how can this get to that? All these birds just showed up. Like, what is possible? What can I do? Do I feel like I can handle the weight of it? You know, can I handle, like, can I hold up the position that I need to, you know, to make this happen while we're working together? And at first I thought I could, and then I was like, I don't know. And then again went over all these like different variables of how it could be possible. Thank you very much. And Six of Wands, King of Cups, ta-da. All of a sudden, when I finally like decided, I was like, okay, well, I don't feel like I can go, like, I don't feel like I could, let me back up. I didn't feel like I was strong enough to get this from there to here. But I knew that I was strong enough to get it from here to there. Once I did that small step, what happened is in that moment, I realized, oh, I feel strong enough to do this. I just didn't know I was strong enough until I actually did it. Once I was in the motion of it, all of a sudden it went boop boop, step by step by step, made it all the way up here. I mean, was I a little tuckered? Was I a little bit like, whoa, when I got up, when it finally all happened? Yeah. But you know what's awesome is then we sat down and now here we are, and that's that. So there's something about this, Taurus. There's something about this. Okay, so there's a little story for you. So let's see, Taurus, what... You like my Halloween nails? Aren't they awesome? Let's see what you've been building. Okay, let's see what you've been building. Oh, the Hound. The Hound. Somebody else had that. Who was that? Pisces, maybe? And the Four, you know, this Four of Cups. You see that woman's face? Look, if you only feel loyal to if the only reason you're in a situation is you feel loyal to it and you have promised yourself to it, but it feels like a ball and chain, then it is no longer for you. You're meant to go to the next step. You're meant to go to the next stage. And whatever that is, you are strong enough to do it. For those of you particularly that are emotionally unsatisfied with something, it's time to cut ties with that and to know your truth and to acknowledge how you feel and to move forward. Now, for those of you who have already done this in your life, you recognize what's healthy or not. You're not afraid to step out of things that are no longer for you. You understand that, like, where feelings come from and how they work and things like that. Then what you've built and therefore have put you in the position is that you are now loyal to yourself. And in that, you realize what you are supposed to pick and what you are not supposed to pick. What you're supposed to say yes to and say no to. And even knowing sometimes that, like, if you ever do say yes to something, that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to change your mind. Moon, High Priestess, Star card, Ace of Pentacles. Holy crap. This is all intuitive knowing. This is all intuitive knowing. Somebody has like a Capricorn moon or an Aquarius moon, or like the moon is attached, some way or another, the moon is attached to Saturn. What is this talking about? It's about acknowledging your feelings. You have to make a promise to yourself, Taurus. Some of you have already made this promise to yourself. Let's take it for those who have. So for those who haven't, you'll understand that this is what we're talking about. Let's put it, even if you haven't yet, let's put it as, let's use language as magic to create the future. Repeat after me, if you please. I am loyal to myself. I am able to be honest about how I feel. I will not hide how I feel. Ace of Cups, Three of Cups, Knight of Wands. Because you know what? Some of you are feeling pretty gosh darn good. So good. So good. And this feeling comes because of the loyalty to oneself. Because of the, nope, I know that ain't good for me. Three of Swords, Seven of Cups. Oh, if something only causes confusion and everything is fine, but you get all this confusion energy, then I heard that may be your old self that doesn't like you. And you have to, Cancer was also recorded on the same day. You and them have the hardest time during Libra season. Little bit of Scorpio and Virgo, and Sag will be the fire on how to get out of it. Okay? Remember, the words that you're using will express how you feel. Some of you may be having a hard time, though, communicating something. And it's almost as if someone else is waiting for someone. They're like, okay, come on. Come on. It's Queen of Swords. She is always on point. Queen of Swords. It's just like, okay, it's just like the story we talked about. I knew this had to go from, the best place for this is this right here. It was over there. It needed to be here. It needed to move. Right? Physically even. But the idea had to come first. Then one had to feel strong enough to be able to do it. Then the action had to be taken. And then the reality happens. But in that process, again, there's a little bit of teetering, like, shit, can I handle this? Can I do it? Yes, of course you can. We already did it. I heard it's already done. World, King of Pentacles, there you are. Look, I already recorded your reading like 3 times. You and Cancer both. The moon is very, especially if you have a strong moon. If you are the moon is exalted in Taurus. But that exaltation doesn't always mean that you're good at it. It means you have to practice to reach these higher levels of emotional awareness. right, of awareness. And for you particularly, your emotional state is huge, which moon is really what the mind believes that is possible in this, like, in this life, emotionally. Interesting. 10 of Cups. Yes. Okay. Ace of Cups. We'll take that. Let's leave that on the bottom. Let's see what you've been learning about. I feel wicked hot. Hold on. Taking off all the layers. I need the sunshine. I need the sun. I'm ruled by the sun, you know? I need sun. I need the light and the warmth. And... oh, hold on, I don't want it on the ground. Okay. Now that we've derobed all these things that were confining us, good, let's move along. Let's see what you've been learning about, Taurus, and perhaps some blessing energy in there. Oh, the Poet. You have the Poet. So the Poet is all about relationships and vulnerability. What's with that? 9 of Cups. Hoorah. What's that? That's the Marines, right? Hoorah. Hoorah. That is about being strong, right? And how are the Marines strong? Marine is strong independently. A Marine can go out on its own. It knows its power. It can handle situations completely solo. Very independent, like Aries energy, right? But a Marine also works really well in a group. And there's the way that success is achieved in that situation is through honesty, which is in truth vulnerability, right? You got to know, some of you are only vulnerable when you've had a few drinks, or like something is mind altering, or somebody here, that's also something that somebody's been learning about, is perhaps sobriety, like getting to know really like how things work on different levels. Now, Justice, here's some Libra energy. Here we go, communicating about relationships. This is having some really in-depth conversations, a very vulnerable relationship, very vulnerable relationships. Interesting. Chariot, Emperor. So we have Aries, Cancer energy. This is also moving forward in a very confident way. If you feel like you're alone in that space, if you're still like wandering this path and haven't quite reached this 9 of Cups, and say you're at the 8, where you still feel like I know I can see the prize, you know, like I can feel it's right, it's like in your reach. I heard you hold the world in your hands. Someone definitely like holds something very great within their life and what they actually are a part of right now. Lovers. Knight of Cups. This is very loving energy. It also is an emphasis of conversations that are open and loving and romantic, and really it's this energy. Okay, we have to, all right, we gotta touch on this. I know. Whenever a person says that, I know, it means that they know it mentally, but they haven't done it physically all the way to actually feel comfortable where they don't have to say, I know. Because saying I know like that means a person acknowledges something, but they don't do anything to change it. Right? And I heard that's annoying. The Tailor. So, right, and what is that? It's when a person has tried. which in truth is a deception to receiving the kind of depth and connection that a person wants by not addressing vulnerability and honesty. Because sometimes, I love you, Zumi, sometimes it's wicked hard. It's easy to talk about, right? Like what, when it feels good. But what about when someone's a little bit scared? You know? Because you know what the thing was? Let me continue on that story of moving this from there to here, like we talked about in the beginning. At the end of it, I had, again, help with that. And I told the person that I was working with, I was just like, man, I was like, I wish you would have just told me, like, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. And they were like, no, I needed you to know, you had to figure that out for yourself. So it's not that the support isn't there. It's that a person has to acknowledge, they have to really feel like they can. And I feel like part of how you receive whatever you're looking for, I heard your wishes and your dreams, is by stepping forward and being really clear. I heard, I don't know if I'm far or I'm near. What's that about? Oh, let's see what you can't see coming. The Scholar. Scholar, which is all about learning. And the Page of Pentacles, which is about learning. Interesting. Okay, what you don't see had to do with a hidden opportunity. I heard something like, just a minute, there's so many notebooks and feathers and paper and rulers and writing implements and like flowers. There's so many things here. It's like I'm seeing like a table or like a place that has all these things. But you know what happens then is this person only has like one thing. It's like they figure out what's important to them. You know, it's not about the thing. It's about the lesson of it. You know, you don't have to have the degree, the printed, I'm seeing this like someone having like a degree to a university or something like that. Like, oh, I received this. That piece of paper doesn't mean anything. It's the learning through the whole process to get to that stage. It's not the physical thing. I see again, it's not the physical thing, it's the learning. Huh. Hold on one second. I want to check the battery and I'm pretty sure it's going to crap out. Okay, we're back. So, Aries this month, there was a few signs this month where basically the battery ran out. And so therefore you want to check your energy as you go along in this time frame because you have more water than anything. Which it all goes back to this Four of Cups. Okay? Some of you are totally hiding how you feel. Or somebody's hiding how they feel. And I feel like that chain needs to be broken. Never, I heard, please never be afraid to express yourself. You know what happens when you are Taurus particularly? It's like super honest about how you feel. I'm not talking about throwing a tissy fit or acting dramatic or like being an idiot. Like, I'm talking about like being juvenile. It's, you know, getting wasted and like saying something stupid. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like, I heard again, please, someone is so afraid to say how they feel, like someone else is going to cut them down or someone's going to judge them, or it's just like, this is the thing, is when you're honest like that, you will know who is your friend, who you're supposed to date, whether you're supposed to live with that person. Like, if that is like an employee that would, or like a coworker that would be a good friend, or if that's someone you're supposed to, do we say work with? Like, you would just know. It's super easy. If you hide it all, if you try to just keep it all together all the time, as if I heard everything is fine, then there is no vulnerability and you never receive the love that you want. That sounded wicked harsh, right? Oh, I see. We're in Libra time. Libra's shooting it. Libra always shoots it straight at you, Taurus. Because Libra can see your blind spot. Which actually, I guess, kind of means that your intimate, like, your one-on-one relationships can see, like, you can see into other people's blind spots and people can see into yours. Death. Yeah, that's one of your Scorpio abilities. But it's good to acknowledge that which others... I heard, please, again, please. Someone is so... Why is someone afraid? Pisces. Oh, there's such a great blessing right now. Something so good is happening. But someone has to take that one step again to make it happen. Once you do, you'll realize you're strong enough and it's fine. Interesting. Let's see what Spirit has to say, because I feel like that's important here. The founder, this is all about your communities. There's a rat on that. And the Two of Wands. I feel like Pisces had these exact cards. Pisces and Capricorn. Okay, the message from Spirit is something like this. You hold the world in your hands. Can you see that? You hold the world in your hands. All right, we didn't talk about that. Let's talk about it. The impatient ones have already left anyway, so it's fine. Thank goodness. See you later. Now it's all the people who are real right here, right now. Right? Thank the good Lord. So, your energy, Taurus. I recorded your reading. I think this is the 4th or the 5th time. So we're kind of getting at like close to 5 hours of talking about something. That's kind of a long conversation. Now, some of those conversations, some of those things were repetitive. Meaning they had to go get, things had to, maybe something's rolling like that. And I see, again, if you get stuck in your head, you want to go to Sagittarius, Temperance, right? That'll change, Wheel of Fortune, that'll change the energy. If you're lacking confidence for some reason in who you are as a person, in who you are as a family member, in who you are as a partner, in whether you will ever buy that home, or like graduate that university or get that job or whatever, then please go to Libra. And if your moon is super strong and you want another layer, then watch Cancer, because that will give you some... Cancer, Capricorn will be helpful. I know we just said a lot of things, but that's kind of the order of what I see. Although really Capricorn is the foundation, which is all about devotion. You know, we can classify this. A really wise woman I was listening to, this medicine woman recently. I was just introduced to her, and I'm so grateful that she showed up in my life. And she showed up in my life because I put myself out there. Somebody else found me. Then they told her about me, and it went went all the way around, and it came back, and then I got to learn something too. And hopefully now I'm guessing that we're going to work together. It seems to be that we're going to work together, and I'm really pumped about it because this person is fucking amazing. Like, it's such a blessing. And this person was talking about the difference, like these words between discipline and devotion. To me, I like the word discipline because sometimes we have to say to ourselves, like, all right, if I want to do this, then I know I can't do that, right? If you really want that chicken pot pie and you really want to savor it, then don't fill up on ice cream. Don't go to McDonald's and get like a, supersize something before you're going to go home and actually get some. Don't take less than before the delicious meal. Don't just fill up on something that like isn't really suiting to you or palpable or nutritious. Okay? You only really want delicious anyway. Interesting. So, point is that all your other readings talked a lot about feelings. And I suppose in that, one may have to temper themselves somewhat. And maybe what you need to devote yourself to, in addition to all the other things you are devoted to in this life and that you love and you're a part of and create with, is also devoting and being loyal to the promises you have made to yourself. And I sense in this Libra time, because this rules over our relationships, which is all starts, and this is how Opal Oracle started, was they were all love readings and relationship readings, and they still are to this day, but we're changing as we go along. But the foundation is the relationship you have with yourself, right? And if you're wicked hard on yourself emotionally, please go to Cancer because they explained it better, and I don't feel the need to be redundant here. So there's something obviously changing in you, and I would say in this time frame, it would be helpful, wherever Taurus is for you, to what is the contract now? What is your contract with yourself now? Because I sense, especially with those eclipses coming, and we'll do a separate reading about it too, it really is a huge change in you. Meaning collectively also, like, who am I? Right? The South Node in Libra and these latter degrees is really, it's relinquishing us. You can go back 19 years if you want to. 18, 19 years. Who were you then? Because those definitions are changing. And, sometimes, for instance, it doesn't matter how we feel about it, it can't change it. But we also have a lot of like opportunity to change how we feel by doing something different and taking that step. And I guess what Spirit is asking you is to look at what your options are. And astrologically speaking, very much so that Taurus is supposed to think about plans. Your plan. Even if you're married. You could have 9 kids. It doesn't matter. What is your plan? And I know, being ruled by Venus, it's just 11-11 in the second portion. Being ruled by Venus, it is wicked hard, usually for Venusian energy or strong moon, to, when someone asks, what do you want? Tell me what you want me to do for you. It's hard, right? I know. Because a lot of your life, you're a domesticated animal. A lot of your life is dictated by that which tells you what to do. But what did your yearly reading talk about? And this year is almost done. So the whole lesson this year in your yearly forecast spoke of the passive nature of the zodiac, you being a big stronghold in that, taking up more of this leadership position some way, somehow in your life. Meaning 9 wands. Yeah, like literally taking up more Aries energy and being like, nope, I'm going to do something that's totally out of my comfort zone. I don't care what it costs to do that. I'm not going to stop myself because I say, oh, well, I can't afford that. Or I can't some way, somehow. If you're saying, I heard if you're saying that to yourself, then I heard you're not trying hard enough. You're cutting yourself short that way. Now, there's also something until the new year in relation to cleaning up some things. I feel like some of you will be letting go of physical things. This could be literally really simple, Page of Swords, like maybe it's old notebooks. Maybe some of you need to burn your old journals. Or some of you need to alleviate your physical, right? The physical things we gather in life, we do that because we feel insecure internally. This can be friends. It can be objects. It doesn't matter. Money in your bank account. It doesn't matter. It's... So there could be something of that. And I feel like you also probably want to go over... Zumi keeps showing up. For those of you who've been here for a while, you know that she is a gracious gift of a spirit to be around. She was pure love only. Oh my God, Pisces. True love only, Taurus. True love only. Love is simple. But that doesn't mean that we always feel good or we always feel strong. 5 of Cups. And I heard again, please never feel afraid that you have to like hold it all together as if... Now, we talked about this too a long time ago. The reading was called Free, Now Free to Be, Finally Free to Be All That You Can Be. And that reading was all about the difference between truth and honesty. 5 of Swords. And that reading spoke about, I guess, okay, look, what are we doing here? We're referencing back into the past and checking in and being like, okay, what have we been learning here? What have we been practicing here? Little things in ways of who you are as a person. That reading spoke so much about little tiny practices. When someone says, how are you? You say, say it's a great day, you're like magician. You feel like the most magical person on the planet and anything's possible. And it's just like all Jupiter all day, all Venus all day. It's like, yeah, today is so good. Today, I feel like I can do anything today. I get everything done. It was so good and so real, right? And then sometimes Five of Cups. If someone says, how are you? You might be like, man, I feel wicked down today. And maybe sometimes we don't know. But maybe just saying that may open up a conversation. And again, if anyone ever, if you only keep it inside, Hermit and the Nine of Swords, I heard no fucking way. Death and the Three of Swords, no way. Do not ever hide your pain, Taurus. I'm not saying you got to tell everybody every little thing about what's going, every little stress and whatever. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about when don't let anything build up at the bottom because you think someone's going to judge you. Please. If you let it out a little bit at a time, then what happens is nothing builds up at the bottom, nothing gets rug swept, and you actually stay on top. Strength. King of Cups, which gives you the emotional maturity, which gives you your wishes and desires, and all that comes to you is, well, the relationships you want, the money you want. But really, the most important thing to you, I mean, money's probably important to some of you, meaning security, but it's more so about our relationships with other people, right? Lovers, Three of Pentacles, the Emperor, Eight of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. Holy crap. Look at this Gemini, Aries, powerful energy. Obviously, something changes with the conversation. And what it does is it helps you to become stronger as a person. It helps you to calculate more about where you're at and what you're working with. And therefore, then you actually can figure out who's on your team or not. It's actually pretty simple. Queen of Swords, she is always on point. I love you, Taurus. I love that you can have these, you know, you've been getting so strong over these last, like, specifically the last, like, 4 or 5 years. The last year, definitely. Like, super strong, right? More confident. King of Swords. Two of Cups, Queen of Wands. Holy crap. You know, I heard, who am I? Who am I? And remember that the who you are is changing. And I really sense Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Judgment card. Don't judge yourself for the changes. Don't worry about what other people are going to think about the changes you've been making for yourself in the way that you are defining yourself. If someone doesn't want what you have to give, then Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles, they're not for you. What did we say before? Oh, the impatient ones, the whatever ones are gone already. Thank the good Lord. Thank you. Because now you know who your friends are. Now you know who's real. And I heard because you love yourself more and acknowledge, again, your ability to be decisive and clear, then you don't need to worry. You do not. Taurus said this, which, I mean, Capricorn said this, which I know. Pluto being in Capricorn, pulling your energy is hard on you. Because basically, for that transit, which is about a 20-year transit, is like change. It's almost like you're feeling more like Scorpio, where you're like, okay, I'm shedding again, I'm shedding again, I'm shedding again. You know, it's kind of, but what it's doing is it's trying to get to this place where, well, I guess for some of you, you don't give a shit what other people think, but it doesn't mean you're being mean about anything. It's just you're being more comfortable in who you are. Magician. And something about creating what is happiness, because, you know, Pluto doesn't have anything to do with the material world. We just had a long discussion about this over on Patreon, and the transit of Pluto right now, especially in relation to that eclipse, is huge. So, you can also reference there if you want to. The Chariot and the Eight of Wands, where do you want to go? Conversation really, when Mercury's going to be in Libra too all month, which is all about conversations with our one-on-one partnerships, however that comes through. And I heard it's about being fair and true to me, and to you. Sun card. And apparently, if that's the prerogative, if that is the intention, Ace of Cups, then again, you have nothing. I don't want your heart to worry. Because even if you, again, life right now, and you're still here because you're so awesome and you don't want to skip out on class because I love hanging out with you too. Thank you for being in this life. It's kind of like, I honestly feel like part of the reason we can have this discussion in this way, with these words, is in this energy, is because life is so good right now. You're all good right now. So when we're in a good space, it's actually really nice to touch in on what else is going on in there. Because you're strong enough to do it. You're strong enough. But again, some of that isn't going to be like that example again, where someone's just like gonna tell you that you can do it. I mean, I guess I'm here telling you. But in your physical life, it may not be exactly that. You still have that support, but it's different. You gotta know it in yourself. And I'll tell you what, you will be so pleasantly surprised. Okay, that's that long reading. I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. And please take care, and I'll talk to you next time.